Hello everyone, let's start the AWS Solution Architect exam prep series practice MCQ question of the topic IAM and the databases. So let's start. Which AWS database service is best suited for the traditional online transactional processing? Amazon Redshift, Amazon Relational Database Services, Amazon Glacier, Elastic Database. The answer is RDS. Because RDS is the best suited for the traditional OLTP transaction. Amazon Redshift is designed for the OLAP workloads and the Amazon Glacier is designed for the cold archival storage. Which of the following are the benefits of the using Amazon EC2 rules? No policies are required. Credentials do not need to shared on an Amazon EC2 instance. Key rotation is not necessary. Integration with the Active Directory is automatic. The answer is credentials do not need to be stored on the Amazon EC2 instance and key rotation is not necessary because Amazon EC2 rules must still be assigned a profile. Integration with the Active Directory involves a separate SAML federation setup. It is not automatic. You are building a large order processing system and are responsible for securing the database. Which action will you take to protect it? Adjust AWS IAM permissions for the database administration, configure security groups and the network access control list to limit the network access, or configure the database users and the grant permission to database object or install antivirus software on the Amazon RDS DB instance. So the answer is A, B, and C because protecting your database requires a multi-layer approach that secures the infrastructure, the network, and the database itself. Amazon RDS is a managed service and a direct access to the underlying OS needed to install antivirus software is not available. Question number 4. Which database service is best suited for the non-relational database? Amazon Redshift, Amazon RDS, Amazon Glacier, Amazon DynamoDB. So answer is Amazon DynamoDB is suited for the non-relational database. Redshifts and the RDS both are the structured relational databases. Which of the following method will allow an application using a AWS SDK to be authorized as a principal to access AWS cloud services, create an IAM user and store the username and password for the users in an application configuration, create an IAM user and store both parts of the access key to the users in the application configuration, run the application on an Amazon EC2 instance with the assigned IAM role, make all the API call over an SSL connection. So the answer is B and C because programmatic access is authenticated with an access key, not with usernames, password. IAM rules provide a temporary security token to the application using an SDK. Which of the following are the IAM security features? Password policy, Amazon DynamoDB global secondary indexes, MFA, consolidated billing. So the answer is pol A and C and password policies and MFA because Amazon DynamoDB global secondary indexes are the performance features and consolidated billing is accounting features. So neither is the security features. You want to grant the individuals on your network team the ability to fully manipulate Amazon EC2 instance. Which of the following accomplish this goal? Create a new policy allowing EC2 actions and name the policy network team. Assign the managed policy EC2 full access to a group named network team. Assigned all the team members IAM user accounts to that group. Create a new policy that grants EC2 actions to all the resources and assign that policy to each individual's IAM user account on the network team. Create a network team IAM group and have each team member log into the Amazon AWS Management Console using the user name password of the group? So the answer is B and C, because access requires an appropriate policy associated with the principal. Any policy alone with a no principal accomplished nothing, and IAM groups don't have their own username password to log in with, and assigning the policy to a group best to each user individually harder to manage both work. Question number 8. You work for a small organization without a dedicated database administrator and need to install a Microsoft SQL Server Enterprise Edition quickly to support account back office application on the Amazon RDS. What should you do? Launch Amazon RDS instance and select the Microsoft SQL Server Enterprise Editions under the bringing your own license model. User SQL Server Enterprise Editions with the license including options from the Amazon RDS console. SQL Server's Enterprise Edition is only available via command line interface. Install the command line tools on your laptop that provision your new Amazon RDS instance using the CLI. You cannot use a SQL Server Enterprise Editions on the Amazon RDS. You should install this onto a dedicated Amazon EC2 instance. The answer is A, because Amazon RDS supports Microsoft SQL Server's Enterprise Editions, but the license is only for under the bring your own license model, not a licensing tool. Which of the following actions can be authorized by the IAM? Installing ASP.NET on the Windows Server, launching Amazon Linux EC2 instance, query a Oracle database, adding a message to the Amazon Simple Queue service, Amazon SQSQ. So the answer is B and D. IAM control access to AWS resources only. Installing ASP.NET requires a Windows operating system authorization, and querying on the Oracle database requires Oracle authorization. Neither is controlled by IAM. A media company hosts its website in a single EC2 instance with a MySQL installed locally to increase the resiliency, and you split a MySQL onto an RDS multi-availability zones instance. Now with the EC2, with the 90% of the end user only reading a content and one person writing, what would you suggest to increase the performance after the connection string, so that if the user is going to write the data, it is writing a secondary copy of the multi-availability zone database after the connection string, so that if a user is going to write data, it is writing in a primary copy of the multi-availability zone database? It's not the right answer. I recommend that company use a read replica and distribute the traffic across the multiple read replicas. This is the right answer. See, because with the multiple availability, the secondary copy is not accessible for reads. All reads and write must go on a primary to the or to the read replicas. Using a read replicas and the distributed read traffic across them is the best way to scale out and maximize the read performance here.